Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey with Project Learn and our video for today. And today we're going to look at 5 common summer activities. And I've sort of grouped a couple of them so they're not a single activity, but 5 things or areas that people like to do things for the summer. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is camping and hiking. Often when we go camping, hiking is a part of it, so I put them together. Here's a picture from when Lucy and I were camping last year. So some words, some vocabulary for the things that we see would be helpful. So it's nice, such as this picture here, to go camping in the forest or the woods, right? The place with all of the trees. That way you can see you have a lot of shade, right? Shade is the dark area blocked because the sunlight does not get through. So it's a little cooler. Okay. Also, when you go camping, many people in the United States like to stay in a tent. Right? A tent is a little temporary place where you live when you go camping. Some are simple to put up, take maybe 10 minutes. Some are very complicated. Ours was quite simple. I think it took me maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. Also, when you go camping, right, you don't want to sit necessarily on the ground all the time, so you might have a couple camping chairs. Right? These are nice chairs. People use them for things other than camping. For example, if they go to a child sporting event, they might take them instead of sitting on the grass. But we often refer to them as camping chairs. Another thing you might want is you might want this fire, right? And we might call this a fire ring or a fire pit, right? And this part here folds down like a grill, and then you can cook on top. Right? So people will often cook. They might just have the fire to enjoy it in the evening if it gets cooler, or if you go camping when it is cooler out, you might light the fire. Now, as I said, we might also go hiking. Here are a couple pictures of hiking, right? And this is Kristen from the Project Learn office. You can see she is enjoying her hike. Now, the thing that you are walking on, there are 2 different words you can use. They're basically synonyms. So a trail or a path, right? You can see the one Kristen on is a dirt trail. And this one here, I can't tell. I don't remember if it's paved or if it's stones. I think it might be paved, right? Some trails are very big. Right? Some trails are just a small path that you follow because many people have gone on it, so it's easy to see. People might also choose to do some work around the house. Right? Here's Kristen again, right? What is she doing? Well, she is mowing the lawn. The lawn is the grass here. And we might also say she is cutting the grass. Now, this is something people must do. So they may not like to do it, but other people, such as my father, right, they enjoy mowing the lawn, right? So this is a fun activity for them to do. Of course, in the summer, you might want to do it in the morning or the evening so it's not so hot. This thing here that she is using is called a lawn mower. Specifically, it is a push mower because Kristen is pushing the mower. Now, if she had a bigger yard or wanted to, she could purchase one of these. And this is called a riding mower because, as the adjective here tells us, you get to ride on it instead of push the lawnmower. Another activity, people might want to do some building around the house. Building the verb. And this is from Tessa, who also works at the Project Learn office. And she is making something special here called a chicken coop. Right, which is really a way of saying a chicken house, the place where the chickens will live. So people might do building things around the house or home repairs that involve building because they have some time and it's fun for them to do. Again, much like mowing the lawn, it may be something they must do, but it could also be something that they enjoy doing as well. So building and mowing the lawn. Another thing that you might enjoy doing is gardening. And we have gardening in both of these pictures, right? A garden is the noun, gardening is the verb, right? Or the gerund if you say, I like gardening, right? Or gardening. So what do we see in these pictures? Well, we have plants, okay? So the vegetables and possibly fruit that you are growing, right? And here's some over here. They could also be flowers. So some people like to garden and have vegetables to eat and flowers just because they look nice. Soil, so the dirt, the brown stuff, we sometimes will buy in a bag. And you can see soil over here as well. So it's important to have nice soil for the plants that you are trying to grow. This is a wheelbarrow here. So we use it to haul heavy things and it makes it easier. You can't see now, but there's a wheel on the front and you lift the end up and push or pull the material. Now this is interesting. The word barrow comes from a previous invention that did not have a wheel, so just called a barrow or a hand barrow, and you needed to carry this. So two people, one on each end, would carry the heavy load. And then, perhaps after the invention of the wheel, that was attached to it here, and one person could push or pull the heavy load. Okay. Another thing we have here is called a trellis. A trellis is a structure created for plants to grow up. So flowers or vegetables, tomatoes, for example, will grow up a trellis. Some plants, such as ivy, will grow up if they have a trellis. Okay. The last one here is a shovel or a spade. These are very similar. The major difference is a shovel is not just for digging, but for moving material, hauling material from one spot to another. A spade is really only for digging, right? This is a slight difference, but when people use them, if they use this, they might mean the same thing. All right, so gardening, another activity around the house. Another fun activity I loved when I was younger, and I still enjoy it, is miniature golf. You know the word mini, right? That comes from miniature. So you might know what that means. But here's golf, right? We also know golf. Golf, right? A lot of walking or driving the cart. It takes up a lot of area, right? It's a very big activity, we could say, right? We hit the golf ball a long way, right? Or people that are good hit the golf ball a long way, okay? So miniature then, right? Something on a small or reduced scale, so much smaller than this. So we're talking about golf that is smaller than this. It could be something like this, okay? Here we have the golf ball and the golf club. In this case, this is a special club called a putter. And we try to hit the ball in the hole. Okay, that's the point. Other miniature golf might have obstacles, things you need to go around or through. So for this one, you are supposed to hit the ball here, and it goes up, around, and comes out towards the hole. Right? So it makes miniature golf more challenging. Another fun activity is fishing. Right? Maybe you'll catch a fish the size of this fish. But to go fishing, we need some poles. So fishing poles. Here's 1, 2, and 3 fishing poles. If you're going to fish on a big lake or the ocean, I'm not sure where this man is, you will probably need a boat. And it could be a big boat or a small boat. But you might also fish from the shore, so the side of a lake or a pond, right? Or the bank of a river, which is the side of a river, right? So then you can just stand or sit up here, for example, in a camping chair and throw your line into the water. You might also fish from a dock. We talked about dock before. A structure that goes into the water, often where people send their boats off of, or where people can stand and look out on the water and fish from the water, such as this family or these folks are doing here. Now to go fishing, you're going to need something, right? You're going to need bait. Bait is something that attracts other things, right? It tricks them into coming. In this case, it tricks fish. This is a worm, an earthworm, and we put the worm on the hook, right? And the fish is attracted to the worm because the fish wants to eat the worm, and then it catches itself on the hook. Now, if you don't want to use the worm, you might also use an artificial kind of bait, what we call a lure. So this also attracts fish, and they bite down and they catch their mouth on the hooks. To lure means to attract or entice or to tempt something. Very similar to bait, right? If we bait something, we try to attract or catch something as well. Now the last one, and I have a video for you, an exciting video, amusement parks, right? Amusement parks are places where we go when the weather is nice to have fun. They have many kinds of food and rides. Right, here's an amusement park. This amusement park, right, is called Cedar Point. But the best, right, thing about amusement parks are the roller coasters. And you see there are many of them at Cedar Point. This is up northwest of Cleveland, right, Cedar Point. So I thought we would go for a ride. Let me get the video here. And I'm going to bump her ahead a little bit while she's making the announcements, the lady, I believe, about keeping your arms in the ride and your legs in the ride, right, to be safe. Extra-large panoramic moonroof. So I will go ahead and get our ride started once the advertisement is done. Here we go. All right, here we go. And we are in the front car, probably the best car. You can see the lake out there. And here we go. Up. Traditionally, when you're in the roller coaster, the thing you want to do is put your arms up in the air, up over your head. Instead of holding on tight, it makes it a little scarier. And here we go. All right, and we have returned. Well, I hope it wasn't too scary for you. I do recommend going to Cedar Point. It is one of the best in the world, and they have quite large roller coasters. Here are a couple links for you. The first one has some nice long list of simple, fun activities that you can do. And the second one is specifically during this time of the pandemic, fun, simple things you can do with your family. Check out these activities. Think about some activities you can do with your family this summer. Thank you, and have a great day.